What do you see as it doesn't necessarily be one, it could be like two, but is the situation that causes tax debt to come? Because obviously there's, hey, you owe taxes, but and you kind of, there's the ostrich syndrome going on, but what is a situation where a tax debt can just slam somebody and they
Oh,
didn't necessarily do anything wrong or even know it was coming? It wasn't ostrich syndrome. And one thing I can think of is like sometimes people get slammed with like a use tax or something like that. They don't even aware of what do you like for so people that maybe that are thinking about this or watching this and think, well, I don't necessarily have a tax debt now, but I do worry about what do I not know about that might be going on because of my lack of knowledge, where I might get slammed with something and kind of get blindsided. Do you have any examples of something like that or thoughts on that?
sure, sure. The most common thing that we've seen is embezzlement or fraud within the business structure. I can think of this wonderful gentleman who had a printing company for over 2 decades, and his accountant, in-house accountant, was ciphering the funds that were supposed to go to tax debt into her personal bank account.
Wow.
And because she received all the mail, she was able to hide all the notices from him for over 3 years.
Ugh.
And meanwhile, she would say, "Oh, we're doing okay, but we need some funds. Can you put some more money into the business?" And she was bleeding him dry.
Right.
It was a horrible
Wow.
situation.
So like so they think the taxes are all being paid. They think everything's
Right.
great, but not knowing. Wow. So you see that happening sometimes.
Again, that has been for business debt.
Yep.
If it's a
Yeah,
situation where the owner is caught off guard, that is 9 times out of 10 the situation.
I
There's
bet that
been some
happens.
embezzlement or fraud.
Sales tax, I bet that happens on sometimes. They have
Sales tax happens a lot. And let me tell you, with sales tax, the states are nasty about it because they see it as a business owner's responsibility.
Oh yeah.
And they're very aggressive about it because you're collecting that money from the public,
Oh yeah.
right?
Payroll,
Every
they
transaction.
love their payroll taxes big time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And they go after you.
payroll taxes are bad, right? Like
Yeah.
you're holding the money out of your employees' paychecks to hold in trust to turn over to the government.
Yep.
But with sales tax, it's from it, they see it as even more egregious because it's collected from the public on a daily basis or weekly basis, however your business operates. And that's a rough situation. So if you have somebody, I've had a church on the East Coast where some of their parishioners would help out in the office, right?
Yep. Yep.
And the woman who took over handling the books fired the payroll company because she said she would do it herself. Well, she would write the checks and never make the payroll tax deposits. So they ended up with payroll tax problems going back for 4 years, ever since she took over that volunteer position. It was so sad. And the head of the church had no idea this was going on.